We're here today to address a travesty, an attempt at criminal acts here in Florida. Namely, we're here today to take a stand, to take a voice, and to take action against the acts and attempts of the governor of the state of Florida to do illegal acts to be able to influence the election, and namely, not only illegal acts, but acts of voter purging that are discriminatory, particularly against minority voters. When I became a citizen and I got my opportunity to register to vote, I recognized what type of privilege and honor it was, how many shoulders I stood on, how many sacrifices were made for me to have the right to vote, how many people died for that honor and that right, how many people still are fighting in our state to be able to have that right. And I recognized at that moment what it meant to be a part of this community.
I'm the lead counsel in the lawsuit that has been filed, that was filed yesterday in the Southern District of Florida on behalf of Carla Vanessa Arcia, Milan Antoine, an organization named VAO, the Florida Immigrant Coalition, the National Congress for Puerto Rican Rights, Florida New Majority, and 1199 SEIU, United Healthcare Workers East, which is a labor union. The reason we filed this lawsuit is because the majority, the overwhelming majority of the people on the purge list that was provided by the Secretary of State at the behest of Governor Scott, the overwhelming majority of the people on that list are in Miami-Dade County, in Broward County, in Palm Beach, and in Monroe. This is the lawsuit that protects the rights of the majority of the people on that purge list. This lawsuit, what it does is it challenges the discriminatory nature of this purge. As I said, of the about 2,700 people on the list, 1,600 of them are from Miami-Dade County. Now, interestingly enough, Miami-Dade County sent out 1,525 letters approximately, and you know how many people responded? 560 people. 98% of the people who responded from this community said they were United States citizens. 83% of the 2,700 people on the list, 83% of them are minorities. They're people of color. This purge is discriminatory, it's not uniform, it violates Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and you have to stop it, not just in Miami-Dade County, but in the entire state. If the goal was to keep non-U.S. citizens from voting, this program doesn't do it. If the goal was to keep Hispanics from voting, and African Americans from voting, and Haitian Americans from voting, that's exactly what this program does. But if it quacks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it must be something other than a horse. So if you look at the percentages, and you look at the way it was applied, and you look at the fact that the overwhelming majority of people on that list are naturalized citizens who are people of color, you got to wonder what the intent was.
Florida's recent attempt at purging eligible voters is an example of the extremist state officials' relentless attack on voting rights. Even if you had the very best list, and believe me, this state is doing with this current driver's list exactly what it did a few years ago with the ex-felon list, in which they used an ex-felon list that had many, many people on it who were not felons, and was deliberately structured to have false positives. But even in the most perfect list, there are errors. If you're going to use even the best procedures, you need to do them in a long period before the voting, so that there's adequate time to correct the mistakes that are going to inevitably be made in any attempt to use those.
This is America. Really? In America, United States citizens who are duly registered voters are placed on a purge list to have their names removed from the voting rolls on the eve of elections? Americans, we need to fix this problem. Governor Scott, you need to halt the purge. Stop targeting voters, United States citizens. This is racial profiling at its worst.
The reason why I'm here today is for I received a letter. I emotionally received a letter. This is a shock for me. They tell me I'm not able to vote this year.
61% of the people on the governor's purge list are Hispanic. 61%. Even though Hispanics make up 14% of the electorate in this state. Hello? 84% of the names on the purge list of the people on the governor's purge list are people of color. 16% of the folks on the purge list are Caucasian. White folks make up 70% of registered voters in the state of Florida. It's time for the governor to halt the purge right here, right now. Stop targeting United States citizens. Stop racially profiling people of color, Hispanics, and African Americans and Haitian Americans to deter folks from voting. And for the community, we're not going to take this. We're not going to let this deter us.
I'm extremely insulted as a naturalized citizen who feels discriminated because of this voter purge, because it's marginalizing not only the Latino community as well as the Haitian communities.
This is our America, all of our America, and this is our Florida, and we need to stand up for all Floridians who are United States citizens who need to stay on those voting rolls so that they can exercise their voice and their vote.